All right, everybody. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for coming. We did 8,421 attendance, $600,000 gate, and that's U.S. dollars. To answer any of the questions about Alessio Sakara, before the fight started, had flu-like symptoms. We waited as late as we could before we went to the last prelim, and he could not fight tonight. And, very unfortunate. Who's got the first question? Right here.
Dana, your thoughts on the main event? Do you think that Yushin earned a title shot tonight?
Well, it was for the title shot, so
yeah. Feel that he earned it, though?
Yeah, I mean, was that the most exciting fight you've ever seen? No, it was not. But he went in there against a very tough guy, and Nate Marquardt, and won.
What do you think about the performance of the German fighters?
Very good tonight, very, very good. Seaver got moved up to the co-main event after Alessio got sick, and he looked like a co-main event tonight, man. And let me tell you what, Andre Winter looked awesome. That kid came out, looked fantastic, sharp punches, hard kicks, and Seaver went in there and finished him, man. Seaver looked like a superstar tonight in his home country.
Another question for Dana. Who got the bonus awards for tonight?
You know what? Joe Silva has the paper. I don't know where the hell he is. I got somebody out looking for him right now. As soon as I get him. Dennis Seaver got submission of the night. Kraus and Scanlon got fight of the night. And Carlos got knockout of the night. And they all won $60,000. Sorry about that.
He said twice that he wants to fight against Anderson. And if this fight really happens, what can we expect? And if you have any message to give to him.
そうです。アンデルソンと戦うことは自分にとっての本当に最大の目標であり、そしてもちろんミドル級のチャンピオンのアンデルソンとぜひ戦いたいと思っているので、ぜひ次の試合勝ってもらって僕が挑戦したいと思っています。
Fighting against Anderson Silva is one of my goals, and I would like to fight against middleweight champion Anderson Silva. So next fight, I hope him to win the next fight.
You mentioned in your post-fight interview that you've been training a lot of jiu-jitsu lately. Could you please explain how the plan of doing more jiu-jitsu has helped you in your fights?
Ja gut, wie schon gesagt, nach den einigen Niederlagen habe ich mein Training etwas umgestellt, mehr auf Jiu-Jitsu geachtet, auf Ring und das sieht man dann in den letzten Kämpfen wahrscheinlich auch. Jetzt habe ich auch mal auch Submission of the Night gewonnen und ja, das bestätigt, denke ich, dass ich auch Erfolg mit meinem Training habe und das alles richtig mache.
After a couple of defeats, he sort of changed his training program, concentrating more on jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and he says it's proving to be right, and he even won submission of the night, so he's very, very pleased with the progress he's been making.
What's the next country in Europe that you are thinking about doing in UFC?
The next country in Europe? God, I don't even know right now. We've been focused on, obviously, Germany and getting things fixed over here. We're working on France. We're working in China right now. We're working in India. We're all over the place. We're talking about going down to Brazil. What my partners want to go to Italy really bad. The Fertitas want to go to Italy. What's that? They get sick in Italy. They'll get sick in Italy. Scandinavia. Cool.
You said Brazil. I'm from Brazil. People in Brazil are reading this, the second chance. How's the things going there? It's really close. The people said that in November of 2011.
Yeah, some people jumped the gun saying exactly what date we're going to be there. We're working on, I had said before, since the Olympics are going down there, we're very interested in going to Brazil now, and the economy keeps changing down there, that things are looking real good for Brazil, and I think we'll be there within the next year.
As a spectator of the sport, not really used to seeing you backing up, could you just tell us how you were feeling coming into this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I felt great coming into this fight, I felt like I had a great camp. Mentally, I felt ready. Felt like I had a great game plan. And honestly, even in the fight, I felt like I was landing the harder shots, and when he was catching me, wasn't really affecting me. But the judges perceive it as he's controlling the fight, and I felt I did enough to win, but I wasn't a spectator. I was in the fight, so it's hard for me to say. But either way, I'm still one of the best, and I'm gonna get back in there and be the champ one day.
I got a follow-up question. Were you surprised at all when you couldn't get off those combinations that you're famous for?
Well, I mean, I did land a few right hands that really rocked him, but he had a really good game plan to just keep plotting forward, and it's hard for me to say because I need to watch the tape and see what I did wrong. I think I needed to push a little more on the combinations, throw a little bit more combinations, but it's hard for me to say because I didn't watch it. I was just in it. So.
Thank you, Nate.
The hand is all right. Well, I'm pretty sure it's broken. I heard it at the end of the second round or right at the start of the third. My hand was on fire during the third round. I didn't feel it was on fire. I couldn't feel anything in it for the whole third round. I was just swinging away and trying to finish him. As far as the fight goes, I'm developing as a fighter. Normally you see me being very aggressive, come forward all the time. Today I sat back a little bit on my punches. I felt my hands were a little better. I was seeing things a lot more, just developing as a fighter. And as far as my opponent goes, I knew he was going to get a little tired, and I started seeing that. And I believe the conditioning is the biggest part in the sport, and I feel that I have one of the best conditioning systems. As far as myself, I feel like I'm in conditioning all the time, in great shape, and that was a big change. That was a big turning point in the fight, was my conditioning.
Were you surprised by, because you landed a few hard punches, were you surprised by his, the way he, could stand up with you?
Yes and no. Like I said, I'm still developing my style. I feel like I'm still aiming for the upper head part with his eyes more than his chin. When the time comes when I can start finally aiming for the chin a little bit more, I'll be knocking people out left and right. I think I have a lot of power in my hands, but I'm not aiming right at the chin just yet. I'm working on that really hard, and give me a little bit more time, and you'll see knockouts from me coming out left and right.
What was your question again about France?
My question is, for you, what do you have to do now to make it declaration?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different places. Like I said, we've got New York, we've got issues here with television. France, the whole thing is an issue. It's going to take time. You know what I mean? It takes time to get in there and educate these people. Just sitting down with the right people. And then the biggest thing, and it didn't work 100% here, but usually when we roll in and have an event, they're successful. There's no cars burning out in the streets after, not what people think this thing is going to be. And normally when we go in and have an event, it completely changes everybody's opinion of it. That didn't 100% happen here. We haven't had the opportunity to do it in France, but we will. See, what you have to understand, and like I said to this guy earlier, when we started this thing 10 years ago, it couldn't have been any worse in the United States. There were U.S. senators that were against it. This thing was called human cockfighting. The bridges that were burned by the owner before we owned this thing was crazy. We went in and turned all that around in the last 10 years in the United States. The rest of the world is going to be much, much easier. These look like huge obstacles and roadblocks for us now, but they're really not. It's just going to take a little time and a little education. Cool? Thank you all very much for your support. We appreciate it.